Look at you, Colby.
Yeah, Barry?
You were just a little crackhead when I first saw you. There's a very minimal...
No. Bonus points to anybody who guesses the movie off of that.
Exactly. What's going on, guys? My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This.
Music.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to a new month. It's another month we're here still.
We'll be here forever.
And this month was my choice, and Colby didn't know what the theme of this month was. I just gave him a movie to watch.
Yep.
This month is... It's Robert Pattinson. I can't say his name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so... Like, before we get to talking about the movie, which, by the way, I don't think we'll be able to do play-by-play, because this movie is, like, in non-chronological order.
Yes.
But we'll just talk about characters and stuff like that. But, Robert Pattinson, when I first really saw him, I didn't watch the Harry Potter movies, so I didn't know him from the
Twilight?
Harry Potter. Yeah, I never watched Twilight. I was like, what? They glitter? Those aren't vampires.
Right.
Exactly, right? Like, I think we both grew up on, like, classic vampires. But not even that. Like, there was the Jim Carrey vampire movie, Once Bitten.
Yep.
Yeah. And the other vampire movie with the oncologist from House. I forgot what his name was.
Okay.
Fuck, it's gonna really bother me if I don't look this up real quick. But like those were like the vampires.
And then there was the one with Eddie Murphy. Brooklyn Nights.
Vampire in Brooklyn.
Yes.
I didn't really like that one just because at the time when I watched it, I was so used to like the funny Eddie Murphy.
He was funny-ish in that.
That one was a little pretty dark, though.
But yeah, you're right. This
one, my best friend is a vampire.
Oh, okay.
But then we also grew up with, like, what's it called? Not The Boys. Lost Boys.
Lost Boys. Oh, yeah. Total classic.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So, like, when he showed up in Twilight and it was, like, this really... this friggin' movie to make teenage girls
I gotta say that's really the only reason I saw the first two was because the girl I was with was like, Twilight, let's watch. I don't know. Yeah. You like sci-fi and fantasy movies? Let's go see this.
That was not that.
Oh, okay.
Or like, yeah. Or like even Underworld.
Oh, right.
Blade.
Yep.
Super cool vampire movies. But let's be real, if they had, I think they did Twilight in South Park, and it was totally gonna be like that Jonas Brothers, like, oh my god, they make my genies tingle. I remember. Okay, I think I did watch the first Twilight movie, and I got a blowjob after that movie, and I was like, movie's all right.
Right? Yeah. No, really. Like afterwards, you're like, yeah, it was worth it.
And
it's worth 2 hours of my time.
But like, so because of that, right? Because of the whole my view on Robert Pattinson, I like really never gave his other movies a chance.
Right. It's like Daniel Radcliffe. Like every movie he's done is like afterwards, you're like, Harry Potter is in a video game movie. Harry Potter is stuck in the jungle. Harry Potter is in...
Was he stuck in a jungle?
No, like the other movies he's like Daniel Radcliffe's been in, but everybody's like, it's Harry Potter. Harry Potter is in a haunted house with the like a ghost of the widow, know.
So funny story, I didn't watch the Harry Potter movies. So I watched so I got to watch Daniel Radcliffe's other movies where he was like the demon.
Right. Horns,
super dope movie. Swiss Army Man.
Yes.
Super good movie. The one where he's getting haunted by a witch was like, it was okay. It was like
that was
Victorian.
his transition movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're like totally going off. I absolutely love Daniel Radcliffe in everything after Harry Potter. Not that I didn't like him in Harry Potter, but he is so much better. I think we will find that same thing with Robert Pattinson.
Exactly. Well, but, I know the transition for Daniel though. Another tangent though is right after Harry Potter, he showed his dick on stage. So I was like, oh, well, how else do you destroy an image, right?
Right.
Show your dick on Broadway.
Yep.
But and so it wasn't until I watched The Lighthouse with Robert Pattinson and William Dafoe.
Right. Yes.
And I was like, man, whoa. Hold on, Robert. What are you doing? Acting.
You're not all just slow and glittery.
Yeah. You're not telling teenage girls that their blood is like heroin. I watch all those commentaries about Twilight, and it's like hilarious.
Yeah.
And I was like, are we going to have to watch Twilight for the channel? But
hopefully at least the next 3 weeks won't be Twilight. Maybe one, but.
But no, and then obviously I saw him in the Batman. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, even though his portrayal is much more of a Tim Burton Batman, as far as like his Bruce Wayne, not his Batman. His Batman was pretty dope. His Bruce Wayne is pretty Tim Burton brooding.
Yes. Which
is fine. It's like a year 3 Batman, whatever. But and so I was like, all right, cool. You know what? We're gonna have to do Robert Pattinson. I think he's definitely one of those actors that, as of lately, is getting more exposure. He's being able to distance himself better away from his Twilight fame.
Right.
And you know what? I never ever really heard him say anything bad about him in being in Twilight. I'm pretty sure he's probably one of those people that's like super appreciative that he got hella money.
Right. and like the Daniel Radcliffe thing. Like you do a trilogy or a quadruple G, whatever they call 5 movies, whatever how many Twilight movies. There's 5, I think.
At least not Fast.
But you do like a series of movies like that are huge blockbusters. You're basically like, okay, I have enough money to last the rest of my life, so now I can just
do art.
Pick and choose the movies that I really feel passionate about.
Right.
And I'm not like, unfortunately, like Nick Cage blows all his money just terribly bad. And it's always like, I have to do, what's the next movie that you guys are going to put me in because rent's coming up.
No. I am 100% behind the way Nick Cage spends his money. You know why? Because you can't take it all with you.
It's true.
And just like how we're gonna learn from this movie, everything has to come to it. So, before we talk about this movie, let me give you the trailer for this movie. All right. In the 2018 movie High Life, we get told a story about black holes and jacking off in space to make space babies, which in turn leads us into false hope and just nothing but demise and depression. I was
space fapping.
Fapping, not vabbing.
Yes. Oh, yes. Very different.
Like, I don't know. How are you supposed to voiceover trailer this movie, right?
Yes.
So today we're talking about the 2018 space movie, High Life, which not only just does it star Robert Pattinson, but it also stars Mr. Three Stacks, Andre 3000 from
that I had I had to pause the movie. I'm like, oh my god, I know this guy from somewhere. I hate that. That's the one good thing about watching a movie at home is you got a pause button, because I know if I was in the theater, that would have bugged me for like a half an hour, and I would have
you know what? It's because he didn't he has a pretty predominant mole.
Yeah, and because he has a beard, because it fooled me for a second too. I was like, is that Mr. Three Stacks? It also stars Mia Goth, who does
who was in the X movie.
Right.
But she was also like in Lars Van Tritten's Nymphomaniac Diary thing. I don't know. That guy's a fucking weirdo. He was like a Nazi sympathizer.
Did not see that.
No, it was like during like the Cannes Festival when it was the movie with Kristen Dunst, and he was like the Nazis, and she was like, "Fuck, our movie's fucked." Like, but I think he was saying it was a joke, but it was just like, bro, come on, man.
Right. Some things.
Otherwise, besides Mr. Three Stacks and Mia Goth, I don't know the other people. Did you recognize anybody else or no?
No.
Yeah.
For a hot second, the guy with the triangle tattoo, I won't say how bad he was until we get to that. The guy with the triangle tattoo, I was like, is that Bo Burnham, the singing comedian? It was not. It was not. Like, I quickly realized it wasn't. But
that is not Bo Burnham.
For a minute, because I remember like his comedy got big, and then he like went in, and he did a couple like cameos in movies.
Yeah, and then
I thought maybe this was like his. I'm gonna take a shot. I'm gonna go for like a space.
No, Bo Burnham, he also had like a TV show.
Right, yeah.
Stuff like that. No, I think he took a break because of his mental health.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
And then obviously when he wanted to come back, he came out with that dope special on Netflix. Yeah. But I was like, is this...
Was it on Net?
Yeah, it was on Netflix.
Okay. Because he did a bunch of stuff on TikTok, but maybe that was... Maybe it was just
no, it was
Netflix
like his comedy
stuff
special. Yeah, it was his...
cut into...
Yeah. I was really worried about that one because I was like, I really hope this doesn't end with him just like slinging up a rope on that roof. Ceiling.
Yep.
I was like, this guy's looking pretty rough. But yeah, so this movie came out in 2018. It was a TIFF, the Toronto International Film Festival movies and all that stuff. And it is super jarring on how to... I was trying to think about it as I watched this movie. I was like, how the fuck am I going to talk about this movie? So...
Yeah, the box. We got to the box, and I was all like, Barry picked this movie just to make me uncomfortable.
Were you watching it with Teresa, or were you watching it? Okay, thank God, because Teresa might have called me, and she's like, what the fuck do you have us watching? But, no, I read the premise for this movie, and I noticed, like, like, besides, like, this... So, we're not doing The Lighthouse because that won awards. So I think that one has enough recognition. But, so I was just looking at other Robert Pattinson movies, and I was like, I read this premise, and I was like, oh, okay, this one's not cool. They're in fucking space. Let's see what this is about. I thought it was going to be like who's the guy who played Hammer in Iron Man 2? Hammond Industries or whatever?
Yes.
See. Oh, there you go. Sam Rockwell.
Yes.
I thought this movie was going to be like that space movie he was in, Moon.
Okay.
So I was like, cool. Nope, not at all.
Yeah, this was definitely like an art house film.
Yeah, it's definitely a film festival film. So I'm going to set the premise real quick. It is a space... what's it called? Like a spaceship hurtling itself towards a black hole to, I think, try to find out new forms of radiation to convert into energy.
Right.
But it's like spaceship. It's like its crew is a whole bunch of criminals.
Right. So they take people who are young that are on death row and basically say, "Hey, would you like to go into space and kind of redeem your life by helping us?"
Yeah, and so, but like, there's like a couple other things that are going on. Like, we have this nurse who we later find out she had actually smothered her children, shot her husband, and failed to kill herself. And she has a separate mission about trying to make children. Right, because
there has not been any babies born in space, and so with the radiation and stuff, there's a lot of challenges, and she was I get apparently a brilliant doctor who then has, once you kill somebody, you lose your license. So, but then she's also like the doctor for the ship.
Yeah. And so we have a couple characters. We have Andre 3000, who is probably one of the only, like, he's Robert Pattinson's only real friend in there. They just get along well.
Right.
He's the one that formulates the garden. He loves the garden because it reminds him of home.
Yeah.
He loves like putting his feet into it. He loves feeling the dirt in it. We never, I don't think we ever really find out what his crime was. But
I don't think so either.
Yeah, he volunteered for the mission to be able to give something back to his wife and his child.
Right. Yep.
We have Mia Goth, who's playing Boise. You don't know what her deal is, but she seems kind of like mentally unwell.
She's a little unstable.
Yeah. We have what's his name? The dude with the triangle tattoo. You'll find out what he probably did back in Earth, right?
Right.
So we have other characters too. We have the pilot who has leukemia.
Right. He actually.
No, the girl has leukemia.
No,
or was it the guy?
The pilot, yeah.
Okay, because I know the pilot was gonna die soon too.
Right. He got leukemia from the radiation in space.
Okay, but he died from a stroke, right?
Well, yes, but I think it was because of the girl doctor.
Oh, okay. Oh, she like euthanized them?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot of fucking characters, but there's also like a whole lot of nothing happening, right? So, so with the doctor, so really we get introduced to Robert Pattinson, and he has a fucking baby in space,
right? Yep.
And like, okay, super uncomfortable, but he's like washing the baby, and then like they show the baby.
They want to make sure you know it's a girl
without
him like being like, "Hey, princess," because he's not really much of a talker.
Yeah, but I was like, can we cut away from this? It's like it's the same kind of uncomfortable feeling I have whenever I see that Nirvana cover with the baby.
Yeah.
And so really, we start the movie with that. Like he's alone with this baby. He probably doesn't know how to raise a baby.
Right.
And I was like, oh God, is he going to shake this baby? Because the baby keeps crying.
Yeah.
And he's like, can you please stop? You're going to kill me. But in between the time that he's taking the baby, we really live in the past, right? Where we see what happens to the crew. Because before we go to the past, before we get the title card, we see that he just tosses all these babies, or no, tosses all these bodies outside into space.
Yeah.
Super beautiful shot though when we get to the title card, because they're all hanging in space, or just whatever happens in space.
It totally threw me off when the title came up, because we're like 15 minutes into the movie. I'm like, wow, that's way in for a title card to be popping up.
Exactly. So, super cool. Like visual, like the way it's shot, I really digged it. Even though it was like this contained type of sci-fi psychological thriller, right?
Right.
But like we go into the past, we find out that the doctor is trying to make babies. She's collecting semen from everybody except for Robert Pattinson.
Right. Because it's a voluntary thing.
Yeah.
She's like giving people like, I don't know, oxycodone or whatever, like a little drug, like a little pick-me-up drug.
Yeah, I love drugs.
If they're part of this experiment.
Yeah.
And he basically just kind of is like, no, I want to keep my fluids to myself.
Yeah, but he also says, like, he's like, when he gets stabbed by Boise later, he's like, oh, don't give me any sedatives. I don't want to, like, dirty up the water even more.
Right.
Because obviously they're in a spaceship, so they're like constantly cycling through recycling their urine and all this stuff. Super gross.
Right. They kind of do a pan through, and you have the big machine, and it's got like the black water, the gray water, the white water.
Yeah. Oh, so gross. And then obviously we get to the point where like one of the only forms of entertainment in this whole ship is the box.
Right.
which Kobe was super uncomfortable with. And I was like, I don't know what this box is supposed to do. And then she pulls out the condom, and I was like, well, at least she's sanitary. And
right.
I've never masturbated this vigorously ever.
But it's got to be some kind of like almost like holodeck kind of like thing, because the ship rule is no fraternizing, basically. No sex with each other, because she's trying to do these experiments. But then there's this box. It's just like you're kind of your escape room.
Yeah.
You get to go in there for however long by yourself and just have the machine entertain you.
Right? All right, wait, hold on. Question. So, would you rather have the box from this movie or the hologram room from Sunny? Remember with the
yes,
Chris Evans? Yeah.
Yeah. Probably that.
Right? You gotta say, because everyone's using the box.
Yeah.
But
and after that very long scene,
oh god,
like then you see like it's almost like a car wash, like cleany spinny thing comes down and just cleans the machine.
There is a lot of very uncomfortable close-ups in this movie.
Yes.
And so obviously everything, like we kind of just see their daily life happening, but a lot, they've probably been in this ship. They said they're going about 0.99% of light speed.
Right.
But I've been watching all these science shows, and even if you're going at like that fast of if you're almost attaining light speed to like travel any kind of great distance, it's still gonna take forever.
Right.
So they're probably already stir crazy in here. They all hate each other, but they all have to know how to coexist, which I'm surprised, because it's a spaceship filled with fucking criminals.
Right. But like she said, like it's once you're stuck there. Like you have to. There has to be a society, because if you can't just kill everybody off, because
then you're alone.
Then you're just floating in a box in space.
It's fucking terrible. But I mean, there's still things that are happening. Like, okay, so like one of the major conflicts of this thing is the dude with the triangle tattoo. He ends up trying to sexually assault the two of the women, or one of the women in the spaceship. But man, is he decking these broads left?
Right. Yeah.
I was like, yo, he is. I'm sorry.
Right.
It's not funny.
Because the one girl, like I said, that she seemed a little unbalanced. When she gets like really wild, the doctor had made the comment earlier. It was like, you don't want to be strapped down to the bed again, do you?
Yeah.
And then you don't see what happens, but when the guy comes in to rape her, you can see that she has been strapped down to the bed.
Yeah, and also the Asian girl, Minx.
Oh, was she also strapped?
Yeah, that's how he was able to deck her like twice.
Oh, okay.
And she was probably like, she already had scissors on her, so she was probably back in Earth. She was a little stabby.
Yeah,
she was too surgical with that. When Robert Pattinson was able to thwart the sexual assault and beat him,
right, and
she super fast, quickly kills him.
Yeah,
but after that, the doctor dibs. She's like, all right. She puts a heavy sedative into everybody's stuff, and then she rapes Robert Pattinson.
Right, which that was an odd, like, looking at it from like without, like, you have to mentally process the, like, what is the meaning of this movie, because you go from like this violent rape and then immediately follow it with like this sedated, like drugged rape.
I thought you were gonna be like this gentle rape.
And
It was.
But in a way it was. And it's like how, and it's like both were like turned to my stomach, but like the violent one was just so much more repulsive and so much more like,
It was more visceral.
yes.
Yeah, it was like that rape scene from Irreversible, that French movie. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
I have not.
It is like on a lot of people's like disturbing list because of how violent and like how long that rape scene. I was like, I can't watch this, dude. No, yeah. Like she's definitely okay. So like what I saw from it, she's like, "You're the only man that's never wanted anything from me." But like the pilot is watching this whole time. And then they do a close up after like he nuts in her, and it's like drizzling. Oh my god!
Right?
But she uses that to inseminate Boise.
She like collects it in the palm of her hand and then like walks it to the lab.
Yeah, I was like, well, hold on. Is everything about like sperm like has just been told like a myth to me? I heard that once it hits air, it dies. This is how dudes get trapped. You know what I mean? Some girl. I'm not gonna get into it.
There was. Sorry, totally side story. There was some rapper.
Drake. Hot sauce?
The hot sauce. And some girl tried to sue him because she burned her putty because he would put hot sauce in the condom before he tied it off and threw it in the trash can.
Yeah, and
so obviously she tried to.
Yeah, she tried to get the bag.
Sneak a Drake baby.
Yeah, a Drake baby. No, yeah, definitely. And so, but after that, she puts it into Boise, who's our mentally unstable girl, Mia Goth, and she ends up having a baby.
Right.
And it is a strong baby. It's the baby from the beginning of the movie.
Yep.
But Boise can't handle it. She first, like, I was so confused because I thought she wanted a baby, but then she didn't want to be a mother.
Right. She didn't really want a baby, and then the doctor inseminates her while she's unconscious. So she assumes that she got, as far as I can tell, she assumes that she got pregnant from the rape.
Well, no, because she was like, remember the doctor was like trying to like check, and she's like,
yeah,
man, you can't get in there, can you? My body listens to me.
But I still took it that way.
Oh, you don't think her Kegel game is strong?
I think she's uneducated enough to
Yeah, probably
not know that.
Yeah, but so she instead she ends up killing the pilot who was gonna go explore the black hole, send the data back, and then so they can see what happens to her.
Right. Okay. So we have like there's the captain of the ship of like the whole ship. Who is not a prisoner. He is just a captain. He's the one who died of leukemia. And then there's a pilot who is one of the prisoners that they trained to fly this little ship into the black hole, just to make sure that
pilot
people, because I think we called the other one pilot earlier, and just to make sure people know there's two different.
So like, so like the captain's like always telling Dibs to suck his dick. She's like, no, I'm not going to suck your dick. And then that's when he got euthanized. Even as he was dying of a stroke, he's like, suck my dick. I was like, you know what? City boy. You want to dap him up. No, the pilot is a very Tilda Swinton looking person.
Yes.
Right? But she was also diagnosed to die soon anyway. But she gets killed by Boise, and then Boise is the one that ends up going into the black hole. And man, I'm telling you, this is not your Interstellar movie.
Right. As an untrained pilot and not knowing the effect of the G-force trying to come out of a black hole,
well, no, I think
she does not fare well.
Yeah, she gets spaghettified.
Yes.
But no, I think I think even the pilot knew that she wasn't going to make it back. I know, like, the trajectory had it coming in a circle, but you gotta know. You can't go that close to that gravity force.
I thought that was... Maybe. I don't know. I took it as they had thought they were going to be able to go into the black hole
And then come back
and
out.
then like while they were in there, they were going to be able to test this whatever, and then or collect whatever it was that this infinite energy source, whatever it was. And they don't explain a whole lot of anything, but the little 1980s.
Yeah, the
typey.
Star Wars freaking fucking radar thing. Yeah, no, she gets totally spaghettified, and then once she hits like the horizon or whatever it's called, she just completely dissipates into the black hole and becomes the black hole.
Yeah,
or part of it. Right after that, Andre, Mr. Three Stacks, he goes and kills himself into what I presume to be the second best option for him, because like he talks to Robert Pattinson and he's like, I don't want, like he says something that he told his wife about she wanted to be buried, instead of watching you go off and live your destiny, which I mean, like I think which we can presume is that like you're going to die anyway.
Right.
And so because he can't be with his family at his time of death or like when he wants to die, he does his second best choice and does the way that she wanted to die in like, in her respects or whatever like that.
Right. Yeah.
Minx ends up killing Dibs, and then Dibs she doesn't kill Dibs. She gravely injures her. Robert Pattinson accidentally to stop Minx kills her by accident.
Yeah.
I thought it was a pure accident. I don't think Robert Pattinson.
No, yeah, I don't think he
wanted to kill anybody.
Right.
But Dibs ends up just telling Robert Pattinson, like, hey, that baby is yours. She looks just like her fat ass mother. Not like fat, but like me and God got a fat ass, And she ends up throwing herself out of the chute.
Yeah.
So now Robert Pattinson's fucking alone with this baby.
Right.
And
now he knows it's his.
Yeah. But we get like a super cool transition because I was like, I thought the person that was in the bed with him was Dibs again. And
okay.
And it was his daughter who was a teenager now.
Right.
And I can't tell you the amount of relief I felt when I was like, thank God he's not fucking his daughter.
Oh.
Did that cross your mind?
That would have made this movie like all of a sudden we're like Serbian film.
Like, I was like, please, God, Lord, do not let them go that route. Yeah. If it was a Lons von Trapp movie, whatever that dude's name is, definitely would have went that way.
Yeah.
But, he's like, go to your bed. Like, you can't sleep with me. You're too old. You're too heavy now. And, I don't know if this is okay. So like, I don't know if this is gross, but I was like, great attention to detail because this girl's not wearing a bra. She wouldn't even know what a bra is.
Right.
And they live in they have like very low gravity. So those puppers aren't ever sick. But, all right, that's me being gross. His daughter's like learning through all the media things that they have on ship.
Right. Yeah.
That's how she's like learning about like alligators, dogs, rituals as far as like praying and all that stuff. So that was pretty cool. But they ended up seeing another spaceship, number 9, I believe.
Yes. Yeah. Because apparently there was a series of ships that were sent out, basically all kind of do the same thing. Because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket.
So like it just felt like they kept sending undesirable people into these things. Obviously, it's like a very Suicide Squad type of like mission,
right?
And so it's just like yeah. Like I think any data you can collect, also while probably doing population control on the Earth,
right?
You're like, yeah, okay, get out of here. But when they go dock the ship, we see it's just overran by dogs.
Yeah.
And I was like, were you tense when he was doing that walk through of that ship? Because, man, my butthole was super clenched. I was like, I was ready for something to, like, come out like a zombie.
Oh, no, I was worried he was going to get attacked by the one big dog.
Oh, the alpha?
The alpha, yeah.
Right.
But no, and then you see, like dead dogs and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
and you
the
could
dogs
see,
were eating each other. So.
Yeah, they're reproducing and then eating each other.
Yeah.
And
it's pretty sad.
Sad, yeah. But no people, so apparently those people have already been eaten.
Right. I mean, yeah, also, I was just like, because, like, in Robert Pattinson ship, they constantly have to do a nightly check.
Right.
Where the ship's, like, prolonged life system would continue on for another 24 hours. Like, how are these dogs doing that?
Well,
it's a paw. And it dispenses a treat.
Right. But that was a really interesting concept where it was like the captain's fingerprint.
Yeah.
And like you find out later it's like a little microchip that he's got like in his finger. But so that way if the crew of delinquents overruns the ship and kill the captain, they can't just steal the ship. The ship is like every 24 hours, captain's got to check in, or we just cut life support.
Yeah, but Dibs knew, even though she was one of the criminals.
I think she knew because the captain.
Medical, right?
Well, she's medical, and the captain was like so hot and heavy on her that I think they probably did a lot of things together, and she watched him do this procedure enough times to figure out.
Right. Man, he was, throughout this whole movie, he's like, oh, I want to fuck you so bad, baby. I don't know, but, I still say props to him for asking for a blowjob before he died.
As he's having a stroke. Yeah.
It's like old rich men, Like, they always die having sex. What a great way.
Right. Probably not for your partner, but...
Unless you discuss it beforehand.
Right, right.
Hey, just to let you know, my heart might give out.
Yeah, yeah.
But I cut you in the will, so. But no. So the daughter is like, she looks at the black hole again. The black hole at this point has changed because the black hole that we saw prior to this, it was like blue. It had like a blue hinge to it. Right. And all that stuff. But then now that we see it, she mentions it looks like an alligator's eye.
I wasn't necessarily sure this was the same black hole.
Right? Yeah, that's what I thought too. But just a nice like little mention. I don't know how long it takes to go from one black hole to another.
Well, right, because they were saying, I think they were saying it was like 5 years to get to the first black hole at the speed of light, because they were 0.99% of the speed of light for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And then they had to start slowing down so that way, because it was going to take them as long as it took them to speed up to slow down.
Oh yeah, so that way they don't overshoot.
So they don't overshoot the black hole.
Yeah, I don't know how this science works, but no, like the daughter's like, she's looking at it, she's like, I think we can get through it. I have a feeling that there's a lower density, and maybe whatever. I was like, hey, maybe she knows she's a space child. Right, you don't know, but at this point, Robert Pattinson's just like, fuck it. But like, yeah, I was as I was watching, I was like, they're very two different reasons for them wanting to go through this black hole, right? This girl doesn't know what a black hole is, first of all. She doesn't understand it, even have like a very elementary understanding of what a black hole does. Robert Pattinson's from Earth. You have to at least heard of what a black hole can be.
Okay, so the ending of this is very open, and you and I have two very different ideas of what happened.
Okay, let me...
Yeah.
So, I think, right, the way I saw it, I was like, okay, Robert Pattinson's just like, well, there's nothing left. There's nothing going for us. And then I am probably going, either the ship is going to fail and we're going to suffocate to death, or I'm going to die before you, and I kind of can't leave you by yourself. And then also, you have this very naive hope that there's something.
Right.
So I don't want to take that away from you. So let's try it. And then, like, you know, when we get to the end, let me just get to the end. That way you can do your interpretation as well. Is, like, you know, like, they're nearing the black hole, and then we kind of get this very Soul Stone looking scene where they're not in the ship, but Robert Pattinson's like, let's go, grab my hand, and then they go through it, and then we get enveloped in a yellow light.
Right.
And then the movie just ends. What was your interpretation?
Okay, so same, that he's like, hey, let's do this. She's optimistic, and he's like, whatever, we're going to eventually just die in space if we...
For sure.
Whatever. So,
yeah.
Fine, let's do it. And I thought that I interpreted it. They're in their spacesuits, they're in the ship, they go into the black hole, and then, like you said, then you see the two of them, and they're talking to each other, and they're no longer in their spacesuits.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see that like yellow line of horizon, and it starts to get brighter and brighter, and they get engulfed in the white light, or the yellow light. I took it that their mission was successful. They got out of the black hole. They've made it now all the way back to Earth. She's never seen the sun. Mm-hmm. And so as that's the door opening, and it's just blinding them with this light because she's never been outside before.
Okay. So see that you have a very hopeful.
So I'm always like the optimist. I'm like, their mission was successful.
The most optimistic thing I could say about that is they got spaghettified into the fourth dimension, where you no longer need a body. You know, you're just like a time being.
That had crossed my mind too. Like, that was like, yes, that there's
what's that comic book character, the Bat Minx or whatever. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Batmite.
Yep. Yeah, he's a fourth dimension character, isn't he?
Yeah.
And what was his enemy? I forgot. He fights something. I forgot. I think it's the Mad Hatter looking dude.
Was it the Mixelplex?
Yeah. There you go. All right, let's get to our reviews for this the high star low star section. Colby?
Doom. 10 out of 10, dealing with our truth. I always read one of the star reviews first. I always read the 1-star reviews first. This movie has attracted some of the best samples. Quite a polarizing one. Indeed, if one is looking for a typical space flick, frustration must loom early on the horizon. A high life requires you to switch your brain waves that are hardly ever solicited in Hollywood. Some will find it boring and slow. For those who want, get ready for a mesmerizing and unsettling trip in your own deep space. It's an experience you will remember long after the end. High life does not make you feel good. It's a reminder of who we are, both macro and micro levels. We won't ever escape from our planet nor from our inner selves. We are all prisoners. Birth is the entrance, death is the exit. Our best hope is poetry.
Okay. 1 out of 10, worst movie I've ever seen. My friend who suggested this horrible movie said after we had seen it, well, at least the pain wasn't personal. It really is pure torture every minute. There is no story. It's not a movie in the usual sense of the word. It's a series of badly done short scenes that provide glimpses into the worst life you can imagine. My theory is that when they made this film, they said, let's see if we can get a whole audience to commit suicide. Honestly, I'd rather kill myself than be doomed to watch this over and over again without an end. As we left the theater, my friend said, when I go to a movie, I at least want to have a little fun. This movie isn't like that. There's no fun here at all. I think you understood the movie. Yeah, no, so like when I saw this, when I tried to process this movie, I was like, this movie is, I don't know if it's a very nihilistic approach, you know, where like nothing means anything. Is it a very pale blue dot look into what life really is? You know that book, right?
Yep.
And so that's what I thought. But then I was like, oh, maybe it's also trying to just deal with your shit. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of ways that you could really interpret this thing, but Robert Pattinson is probably one of the only saving graces of this movie. And he's not largely charismatic in this movie, but you're like, you are interested in him. You know, you find out that he's on that ship because he had killed a friend that killed his dog.
Right.
Which, justified. Like, you know, like, maybe you can, like, if your friend accidentally killed your pet, like, if you ask somebody to pet sit and they, like, gave it chocolate or something, I didn't know. Like, you know, I think you should run those through, but, like,
right,
it's an accident.
Well, he made the comment to Andre 3000
yeah.
that he was raised by the dog. Like,
Yeah.
somebody was like, "What did your parents do?" He was like, "I didn't have parents. I was raised by my dog."
Yeah.
And so...
Yeah, which could also lead that, like, maybe he had lived with his grandfather and he lived on the countryside and his grandpa was probably like 80 or something.
Right.
We don't really know. That's the only way I could really interpret that, unless he was just like a boy that was raised by a wolf.
Right. Yeah. No, I didn't get that, but yes, like you said, I felt like maybe he was out in the middle of nowhere and he didn't really have any friends, and like the dog was his life. Yeah, it was just like,
Yeah.
outside the house, my dog's everything to
My
me.
brother.
Yeah.
But, you know, yeah. So, sorry. I think a lot of people agree with me that they would kill somebody if they killed their pet out of malice.
Right.
You know? I wouldn't go all John Wick if someone accidentally, like, hit my dog with their car. You know, come on, you gotta leash up your dogs, people.
Right.
But if he, like, came through my house to run over my dog with his car,
yeah,
John Wick, right?
Exactly.
I don't know. So, Kobe, how did so, like, instead of talking about, like scenes in this movie, how did this movie make you feel?
So, like, the reviews, like, this movie ended, and it was like, I can't talk about this. This is, if I talk about this movie, I'm gonna just hate it. I need to, like, go to bed and, like, let my dreams form around this movie. 'Cause, like, yeah, it's kind of a hard watch.
Yeah.
It's long and it's slow. And, like, your brain wants to find meaning in every shot because the shots are so deliberate. Mm-hmm. Like, every shot is like a piece of artwork.
Yeah. It's a puzzle piece.
But they don't necessarily translate into
anything.
So it's like there's a story and then there's like this art that you're watching, and so like I'm not as, I didn't find it as beautiful as a 10 out of 10 review, but I definitely was like not a bad movie.
Yeah.
It was it made me like, I wish I got to know some of the other people, because you really only get to, I felt like I left the movie only knowing the doctor and Robert.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's what I was going to say too. Like, for a movie that's almost, it's like 6 minutes shy of 2 hours, I was like, it's not enough time, because you don't really get to know what's going on with Boise, with Minx, with the triangle tattoo guy. You get a little bit of glimpses of like Mr. Three Stacks' life.
Right.
I thought the captain was also a prisoner. I didn't even get to know about him. He was just always trying to fuck.
Right.
But yeah, this movie, it does, for like, you know, for a lot of people, I can imagine them being like, I need time to process.
Yeah.
Because wow, I don't know what you watch. It's this is like the tricky thing I feel like about art films, or like movie festival films, especially like ones like TIFF and Cannes, is that a lot of these movies are very abstract, and a lot of it can come out very pretentious, but also a lot of it can just be like, I don't want to spoon feed you, like, you know, I want you to like think about it. I want you to like...
Right. There was like one odd scene that was on the train They'd have like the professor and like one of his students on the train, and they're like doing like a little interview, and like it's less than a minute long. You never see those people again, but he basically kind of makes the comment of like, what's the morality of sending prisoners into space to do scientific experiments on them? And like that stuck with me and made me like, so like the bad things that were happening on the ship, I kept thinking about his question of the morality, where I don't think it was like an odd, like it was really odd that they put that in and then like no one, but it did pose that one question.
Yeah.
That made me think about through the entire movie. And so I liked that it was there, even though it seemed out of place.
Yeah, no, it was like one of those things where it's like a discussion piece.
Right. It was almost like the movie ended and that part wasn't in there. And the movie ended and they're like, people aren't going to think about the morality. And that's what that was one of the themes I'm going for. So let's pose that question somehow early on, just as a, just to kind of guide people in the right direction.
Yeah, just to put, it's definitely there to like maybe set your mind into a specific mindset.
Yeah,
right.
And it definitely did for me.
Yeah, because man, this movie is like, it's nothing but bleakness. It's depressing at some points, and really there's no branches for you to go through. Right? It's just it's a hallway. It's a corridor. It's just like you're right here, right, and you're gonna end up right there. There's no like other doors, and
and that's why my optimistic mind had to have the girl return to Earth, because that made everything like all the horribleness of these people have gone through, the loss and the darkness, it gave it like meaning.
But it's also to me it's like they both, like, your interpretation has like the meaning that you want. Mine is like he doesn't want to take the hope that she doesn't know about. Like he doesn't want to give her despair, because like, you know, like even like later on, like when she's like, oh, you didn't bring those dogs, that's cruel. And he's like, what do you know about cruelty?
Right.
You know, you know, there's nothing for you to experience. There's nothing for you to see. You shouldn't know. You shouldn't even be able to comprehend that feeling.
Right.
And so, like, for him to not take that away from her, even though he
now, I totally see it. Yeah. Yes, because it's almost like a, hey, if we do this last adventure together, we know we're not coming back, but at least
you have something. There's like something for you to hope.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, but that's just like how I saw it, you know, because I thought it was like, for him, it was like, it's a sacrifice.
Right.
You know, you also got to feel like he has to feel bad for her, right? Because he doesn't get to see the world that at least he grew up in, you know? She's never felt a real gust of wind on her face. She's never felt the sun on her skin.
Right.
The dew of like the morning in the mist or whatever. She's, you know, and
right. Yeah. I mean, she's got sand on her feet because there's dirt in the garden, but that's right. There's no wind. There's no.
She never got to hear the waves.
There's no flowers or anything. It's just like these grow in the garden because these are specific fruits that are sustainable, so you guys can live.
Yeah, and like, so she doesn't like really appreciate it the way, like, you know, you just taking a mental health day.
Right.
To like go to a botanical garden or something like that.
Right.
And so I thought that was a good, like, that's how I wanted to interpret it. It was just like, he's also his parent. Like, he's also the parent. So he wants to shoulder all that burden for him too. Right. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I like yours too. Don't get me wrong. I would love for them to return to Earth. But, you know, if we're talking about relativity, right, them being so close to a black hole, it's probably like what 4,000 or 5,000 years into the future at this point.
Right. Yep.
You know how I think it would have been really cool how they ended this though is like while they're like in that like that second black hole, like just freaking the Enterprise.
Alternate endings.
But like, you know, because like they had been near black holes for so long, if the science is right from Interstellar, that we know that because the gravity there is so dense that like spending a year next to it is like what 40, 50, 100 years.
Right. Yeah.
That's the more optimistic ending that you could hope for, Kobe. Freaking, it's what's that dude's name with the fucking the wrinkles on his forehead?
A Worf.
Worf.
Yep.
He's like, whoa, guys, don't go there. He just Scotty beamed them. No, the Scotty's not there.
Right. It turns out to be the wormhole that takes them to Deep Space Nine. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool too. Like, you know, like obviously me and Colby, we want these happy endings. I thought it'd be super cool. Like Colby said they want to go back to Earth. Me, I'm like, they go through the black hole. Now there's a space station on the other side of it. Like, sir, there's humans. Oh my God. Or they became those, what's it called? Those light speed dimensional beings from Star Wars.
Yes.
You ever hear those, what were they called? Do you remember? I know they're not Force Ghosts, but like they were like in the extended universe, right?
Right.
And you could only see them while you were in the light speed,
yeah.
And then they could haunt you and shit like that. Yeah. All right, guys. If this is the first time you guys are joining us, thank you for joining us. What a month to join us on. What a heavy movie to.
It's a heavy movie, but an excellent month.
Yeah. And so thank you guys for joining us. If you're new here, the way that we review movies is by 4 sections. We have stream it, DVD it, Blu-ray it, and the Ultimate Box Collection. Colby, where are you at?
So like I was talking about like the having to let this movie settle.
Yeah, marinate.
Yeah. Like movie end, credits roll. My pick is like this is never gonna be in my collection. This is stream it only. Go to bed, wake up in the morning, like after sleeping on it, I'm like, man, maybe Blu-ray. Like,
right? I'd love to see those extras.
I would love to see some extras, a little commentary, stuff like that. But yeah, like it's definitely like I said, movie ends, you're like, I never need to see this again. And then 24 hours later, I'm like, I really want to see it again try to put to, now that I know how it ends, now I can, the storyline is a little choppy with the flashbacks and stuff, and sometimes you don't know what's what.
Yeah.
But now that you've seen it, like I've seen it once, I'd love to watch it again and kind of put those pieces together.
Yeah, same. I'd probably go Blu-ray as well. I would want to watch this maybe like a year later. I don't want to watch this like next week. Like it was like it's too heavy right now, you know. But there's definitely a lot of things, maybe a lot of more nuances that I can pick up on, like either action wise from the characters or just the way that they're shot. I think this movie is super interesting, even if it's heavy subject matter, very nihilistic viewpoint, or not, or maybe it's not a nihilistic viewpoint. You know, maybe there is supposed to be something there that you could look forward to, or there's meaning somewhere.
I saw sort of quick interjection.
Yeah.
It's a famous French artsy director.
Yeah, makes sense.
And they asked her, like in an interview, how come she wanted it to be in English. And she said, my other movies are in French because French is the most beautiful language. She said, but whenever I think of space,
Yeah.
I always picture people in space speaking English or Russian. So she's like,
Fair point.
I just don't picture somebody speaking French in space. So
Yeah.
that's why we went with English, because that was the...
And it's a fair point, right? If we're talking about like space race, you know, English and Russian.
Right.
But I don't want to say unfortunately, but I think English is like the international business language.
Right.
So it makes sense, and that's great for her. That's like a lot of people can like miss out on these details, and then she's like, no, I think movie, at least for the movie wise, I think more people will see if it's also in English, but it makes more sense for it to be in English.
Right, and I feel the tone of it wouldn't have come across quite as well subtitled.
Yeah.
And it definitely would not have come across as well dubbed. There is really a limited number of lines, and they are very
Yeah. It's very and plus you don't want to dub over 3 Stacks' sultry voice. It's so velvety. All right, guys. Well, we guys want to thank you guys for joining us for the new month of the Robert Pattinson Who Watches His Podcast month. Definitely check out everything down below that we have. We have a YouTube channel called WWT Commentary where we watch movies and shows on there and just try to crack jokes all the time.
And then, of course, we got our socials. So, follow our Facebook and our Twitter. And that's probably the easiest way to get a hold of us and give us some love, some shares, some likes, and, follow us. And that way you see every time we drop something new.
Yeah, leave comments.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us. My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to see who does the theme music, it is Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage. It's on her album, Music for Podcast 3. And her Bandcamp is down below.
Thank you.